So, 2.5 years ago, my wife had a spinal stroke. She was at home one night and she said, I don't feel very well. Tell the kids if I die, I love them. Now, my wife has a very high pain threshold. What happened was she went to hospital and she was diagnosed after having a massive heart attack. She had clots on her lungs that could have killed her, and she had a C6 spinal injury. So she's actually a tetraplegic. She's paralyzed from the top of her chest line until the tips of her toes. She has the use of a neck. She's in a wheelchair, a motorized wheelchair. So I'm her carer. So what does that mean? I'm Mr. Mum. So I cook, clean, do the washing, and we do get some in-home help by the government. So she was in hospital for 13 months in the spinal unit in Brisbane in the Princess Alexandra Hospital, for those who know Brizzy. I was called there multiple times to say my goodbyes. Her family had to come from New Zealand, from Australia, from Sweden to say goodbye. And I told the doctor she's not going to die. They looked at me like I was a lunatic. I knew that because I was praying one morning and I cried out to God. I said, Lord, our times are in your hands. You know our days. They are numbered in your book. Lord, I pray that you keep Janine alive. And 2:30 one morning, he woke me up and he asked me a question. Now, it wasn't in an audible voice. It was simply this. I had this impression where he said, are you willing for me to take Janine home to be with me? And then tears started to stream down my eyes, but they weren't tears of sorrow. They were tears of, I can't explain it, the heart tears. And I thought about it for 10 minutes. I said, Lord, I'm comfortable with that. She belongs to you. I will see her later. And I said, Lord, so I give it to you. Whatever you want, that's fine. The second question he asked me was that all the work that you do for me, I've preached, I've helped people in many, many countries. He said, I want you laid on the altar. So I did. After 10 minutes of reflection, went to bed, slept like a baby, got up in the morning and started to pray. 2 weeks later, the Holy Spirit said to me, you have passed the test. Wow. Janine will not die. Her times are in my hands. We are not spared from trouble and trials. In fact, Jesus said, in me, you will have peace, but in the world, you'll have trouble. Wow. All through this time, I had peace and joy. People looked at me and thought, how can this man have peace and joy? Because I obeyed the Lord, and obedience brings with it joy and peace. Then a very good friend of mine, Janine herself, and another friend of mine in Europe, called me and said, the Lord spoke to us and said, he's going to release you at a later date to do all the work that you do. Because most of my work's always been international. Although I've done work in Australia, I've worked on every continent and trained many people. So wow. Was I willing to lay down my life for my wife? Was I willing to let her go? And you will be faced with similar things. It may not be your wife. It may be your business. It may be money. I don't know. But all I can encourage you to do, saints of God, is give it to him. He's faithful.
Faith and patience. Faith and patience. Patience means allow it to happen. Stay the same. Stay persistent. Keep going. Faith, know that it can happen at any moment. Get excited because it can happen at any moment. You were so close. Don't quit now. Keep pushing. You got this.